Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Warring to Attitude. This is episode 42. I am your host, Brett Piles, and with me, as always, is a man who is from across the ocean and from the future. He is the ballroom bro, disco dancing, dynamite stretching, intercontinental playboy, folks. He's more over than the Patriot. At G. Russell, Glenn, how you doing?
That's not hard. I look better than I feel.
You look better than you feel, huh?
Yeah. Until I turned the camera on here, I hadn't seen myself in a couple of days, so I actually look better than I feel.
You've been feeling a little under the weather that time?
Feeling a little bit under the weather, as I say, yes.
Yeah, it's been it's been going around over here. I know that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been going around over here as well. There's so many different strains of it now that are actually testing as COVID.
Right.
But it's more like it was before we knew what COVID was. It's not that strain that's went around killing everybody and causing a pandemic. Although it's still showing up in the testing. But you would have probably found out that everybody that put down every little ailment that they had as the flu or a cold,
right,
it had testing back sort of 10 years ago, it was all tested for COVID.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. There's obviously smarter people in the world that you could talk to about this sort of thing that know science and stuff. Not me and Glenn, who just reviewed 1997 wrestling. We don't know, but
if you want answers to that, podcast at ddtwrestling.com and address all your questions to the only doctor that we know that watches. Well, he used to watch wrestling, Doc Manson. He'll answer your questions on that sort of thing.
He might tell you that you're stupid, but you will answer your question. But yeah, so let's talk about this, Glenn. So, do you remember anything big happening on Monday Night Raw this week?
Yeah, we got Jinder Mahal back.
Oh, I was gonna go with the reuniting of what was it? Awesome Truth, I think.
Awesome Truth. Yeah, that was good as well.
R-Truth is. We're obviously not talking about that when we were joking, but the R-Truth thing at the beginning of the show was so goddamn funny.
Yeah, he's so good. No, put him in the Hall of Fame because he is so.
Oh, yeah, he deserves it. That WrestleMania when there was no fans at WrestleMania 36, they should have just had him in the crowd.
Yeah,
it would have been just fine.
Yeah,
it would have been just fine. But yeah, so The Rock comes out there to interrupt. And I know me, I'm watching it, and I never usually watch Raw, and I don't know what compelled me to turn it on. Probably because they said a former world champion was going to be there. And when Jinder Mahal comes out, I'm like, no.
Brilliant. That was a stroke of genius. You could, from this side of the Atlantic, you can feel the disappointment in that room when they announced the former world champion, and out came Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I thought to myself, oh my God, the tweets are going to be terrible for this. But then, no, Glenn.
No.
The Rock comes out, which I was shocked as fuck to see The Rock. I didn't think if you could have thrown up 10 different world former champions that I thought would have come out before The Rock, and I wouldn't have picked The Rock, you know?
Yeah. I honestly thought it was going to be Stone Cold.
I would have been less surprised and they were in San Diego, and I believe Stone Cold, I don't know if he still does, but I believe he used to live out on the West Coast, so it only makes sense for it to be him. That would have made sense too. I really didn't know who it was going to be, but I damn sure didn't. I wouldn't have picked The Rock. The Rock wouldn't have been, like I said, in my top 10. I would have said Sasha Banks before The Rock.
He's obviously not got anything coming up with the film companies at the moment, so he's getting insured to wrestle.
Yeah, because I mean, he came out there, but the thing wasn't the whole thing with Jinder Mahal. Obviously, that was secondary. And then after, he says, if The Rock goes out to eat tonight, should he sit in the booth, or should he sit at the bar, or should he sit at the head of the table? It was so funny because I was watching it with Rachel, and he said, should I sit at the booth or should I sit at the bar? As soon as he said at the bar, Rachel said, or should he sit at the head of the table? So she knew it was coming.
Yeah.
She knew it was coming. But I mean, that lays a lot of groundwork right there, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. And everybody that's freaking out about the fact that Cody's never going to finish his story. We now have a 2-night WrestleMania. What is to stop the story being Roman loses to Cody on night 1 and loses the title? And The Rock comes out and basically says, you've blown it. You've blown it with the family. You've blown it with me. We need to sort this out.
Right.
On night 2.
Or Glenn.
So, the story writes itself. The night 1 is for the championship. Night 2, it's for the head of the table and the tribal chief title.
Right. But then you get to like people are like, well, The Rock only has to wrestle 1 match, and then the Roman has to wrestle 2. And I don't know. You just know people are going to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, of course. But they're going to say that whatever happens.
True. That's a fact. Okay. Here's the one rumor that I read, and I know you're going to fucking shoot this down, and you should. Is that they're not going to do it at WrestleMania. They're going to do it in Australia at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. What a load of bollocks that is.
Like, unless the show in Australia isn't already sold out, which I believe it is. I believe it's already sold out. Why would they do it there? Like, unless they're going to try to increase ticket prices, which they can't do because they've already sold it out. Why would they do it there?
Yeah. You know who's the sort of person that's put that rumor around, don't you? It's the same sort of twat that sent out the thing. Where is it?
Are we bringing back the twat of the week?
Well, not really. No, we don't need all the. I just want to include this idiot. Talk about clickbait.
Oh.
On Instagram, there's a picture of CM Punk, and it's sort of fairly big writing, breaking news, and then in huge writing, CM Punk defeated, and then in little writing under that, Dominic Mysterio at Madison Square Garden. So it looked like the headline was CM Punk defeated on his first trip out, but it isn't, because they managed to squeeze in little tiny writing underneath Dominic Mysterio at Madison Square Garden.
That's when like they show you the cell phone commercial and they tell you it's $25 a month per line, and then there's all the little fine print at the bottom.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, god damn it. And hey, if you're out there on social media, here's a goal and a tip that you should do in 2024. Stop retweeting or quote tweeting or whatever you do. Stop doing that with stupid people. Just leave them alone.
Yeah.
If no one gives them attention, they'd fucking go away. So stop quote tweeting stupid people.
I'm
going now. Not only am I going to block the stupid person, I'm going to block you for retweeting them too, because you're dumb with them.
I absolutely hate that. What is the point in having somebody blocked and then some other idiot comes along and quote tweets them? So you get the bloody tweet anyway.
Or they take a picture of it and post it. Like, I blocked that motherfucker for a reason. So why are you showing it to me now? It's just driving me crazy, man. And since I moved to a different social media platform, I'm not bringing that shit with me. So if you try to bring it with you, you're gone. I'm done. I'm not playing around in 2024. You can fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But that's just my advice. That's my 2 cents for 2024. Is stop giving stupid people attention. It's enough. We've given stupid people attention for 20 years. So now it's time to be over with it.
Yep.
Anyway, now that I'm done ranting and raving and we're done.
One more little bit while we're on this big soapbox between us.
Let's do it. Fuck it.
People, for the love of God, don't give them your money. All these bloody these so-called news sites on YouTube and Instagram that will take your money to tell you stuff that they've only heard from a source that's not reliable.
Right.
Don't pay them, and they'll go away, and we can all live peaceful and enjoy the wrestling.
Right. I'll never understand the want or need to know all the backstage goings on of what the current product is doing, because I don't care. I just want to watch what's on the TV.
That's it.
I don't want to know who's going to win the Royal Rumble. You want to know why? Because I want to fucking have fun watching it. I don't want to know who's going to win it. I want to suspend my disbelief. Thank you.
I don't think anybody's going to get the chance to find out this year. I'm sure that, especially with other people being eased out lately, that Triple H has got a little tight ship there, and it will be under threat of death if anybody leaks anything.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, there's a few different options that could win the Royal Rumble. Obviously, people are going to be thinking Punk. Cody could win it again. Fucking Gunther could win it. Who knows?
You think 2 years ago, they would never have been able to have smuggled The Rock into that building?
No, we would have known. Yeah, we would have known.
It would have been all over the internet.
They've had The Rock on twice within 6 months, and nobody knew.
Nobody, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's the best part of wrestling. Like, I don't want to, like, imagine when CM Punk came back in AEW, imagine if no one had known. Imagine how much cooler that would have been.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Would have been much cooler, I think.
And especially with the Royal Rumble, because the big thing about the Royal Rumble is the returns and surprise entrance.
Yeah.
So you don't want to know who's backstage.
Right. I'm not one of those people who needs, 5, 6, old timers in the Royal Rumble. Give me 2 or 3 people who are coming back and a couple of old timers. I don't want, 7 old timers in the Royal Rumble. That's too many for me.
As he didn't appear this week at all, I should think that Andrade will be appearing at the Royal Rumble.
That would probably be the best place to debut him. A lot of people thought maybe he would be on Raw on Monday night, but I think the Royal Rumble.
I thought he would. I thought it'd be Tuesday.
Oh, you thought it'd be NXT?
Yeah, I thought he would be backing up.
Oh, but it was Carlito. Yep.
Yeah, it was Carlito again. Yeah. Oh, it's him.
Carlito. Yeah, I mean, I watched some of NXT, but I didn't watch a lot of it. I watched the opening match, I think, and that was it. I don't even know who won the main event, so we'll keep that under wraps if you do know.
I don't.
Well, perfect. And we're not going to talk about it because we don't fucking know.
Because they screwed us.
What'd you say?
I used to watch NXT wonderfully on my TV with no problems whatsoever. Now, all of a sudden, TNT or they've lost a TNT contract or TNT have ditched them all. They've ditched TNT.
Yeah.
So we've lost. BT went over to TNT towards the end of last year.
Right. Yeah.
So now all of a sudden we've lost NXT off the telly, but we get it back on the network. But the network now doesn't work on my computer. So I have to watch everything on my phone. So I've gone from my nice big telly to a phone to watch everything. And everything was glitching last night because I suppose they had so many people overloading the network that they haven't had for years.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, probably. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough of our rants and raves and talking about current wrestling. We are now going to review Raw is War from August the 18th, 1997 in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Atlantic City Convention Center. Glenn, have you ever heard of Atlantic City? You know much about Atlantic City?
I've heard of it. I'm not that familiar with anything that goes on there.
It's basically a Las Vegas, but instead of in a desert, it's in a fucking New Jersey.
It's in New Jersey, yeah.
I've never been there, and I'll never go there because it looks crowded, just like Las Vegas, and I don't want to go there either.
Well, this was a sellout, 8,672. So yeah, it's a fair old crowd there.
And it was at the Atlantic City Convention Center. So it wasn't even at like a typical arena. It was literally at a convention center where they cleared everything out and then made it a wrestling arena. It gave me the vibes of the Boardwalk Hall where they had WrestleMania 4 and 5. It wasn't that arena, but it kind of gave me those vibes, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah.
This actually was a brand new building, Glenn, at this point. It had only been open since May of 1997. It had a 5,000 square foot showcase space and 5 exhibition halls, 45 meeting rooms, and a parking garage with over 14,000 parking spots, and was adjacent to the Sheraton Hotel. This was the only wrestling show to take place. It was this Raw and then the taping for the August 23rd episode of Shotgun Saturday Night. And if you live near Atlantic City, you can attend the Pool and Spa Convention on January the 23rd at this here convention center. But that's really about the only thing going on there. So. If you live in New Jersey and you're looking to buy a spa or a pool, and you use it 4 months out of the year, at least the pool anyway. Anywho, so so the Raw rating for this week was at a 3.11, which was up from a 2.93 last week. So it has improved a little bit. What do you want to guess that the Nitro rating was for this week?
3.8.
Pretty close, Glenn. 4.101. So it was almost a full point better than Raw.
Yeah.
But Raw had that's one of Raw's best numbers in a while, because they were 266 the week before and 291 the week after that. So obviously the good main event and the good show last week maybe drew some more people back.
Yeah. Word of mouth got round. It was a good show. And at this time, it does make a big difference. It is, in the schoolyard and whatever, people talking about what went on the night before.
Yeah, this was the time where everybody watched wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the 7th grade when this was going on, 6th or 7th grade, and literally everybody I knew watched wrestling. There wasn't anybody that I didn't watch wrestling. I know, like, when you got more into high school and stuff, you wouldn't tell people that you watched wrestling still, because they thought that was ridiculous. But when you were in middle school, it was, if you didn't watch wrestling, you were uncool.
Yeah. So yeah. If you had a bad week and everybody says it's a bad week, you don't watch the next week. But then everybody goes, "Oh, you really missed a good show last week." Right. So you're watching again.
Yeah, absolutely. So to open this show, they have Vince bring out Ravishing Rick Rude.
Oh, God. I don't know what I assume on Peacock it's the same badly overdubbed.
Oh, God, the music was so loud.
Yeah.
Like, when he was coming out, or at the end of the interview when, like, King and JR were talking, you couldn't even fucking hear them because the dubbed over music was so fucking loud.
And it is so not Rick Rude.
So I thought maybe it was like this old theme, but I went back and listened to it, and it isn't.
No. It really is generic stripper music.
Yeah, that's funny, Glenn, because I literally put in my notes, like, Glenn, like, I don't know what it sounded like on your end, but my Rick Rude music sucked.
Yes.
So we get Rick on the mic, and let's hear a little bit from Rick. What do you say?
Who paid that premium last week? Was it Shawn Michaels? Was it Hunter Hearst Helmsley? Who paid the premium? That's something you don't need to know, McMahon. Let's just say I was paid a handsome sum to get a job done. Because I am the Guardian Shield. You supply the money. Rick Rude supplies the muscle. You know, McMahon, you can never have enough insurance. As a matter of fact, it looks like you might need a little more yourself.
I messaged you the best thing about that. I didn't do the whole thing, but the whole thing was Vince would ask him a question and he would dance around the answer, and then Vince would ask him another question and he would and Vince looked legitimately pissed.
Yeah. I think I talk about it a bit more later. Now, I think this is laying the seeds of things to come. Not in the short future, but the long future. And a lot of what people used to moan about. But we'll go into that when we've seen Shawn Michaels.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So while you could barely hear JR and the King tell us what's going to happen tonight, they do inform us that we will get an interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin about his injury and his future. We'll also get Hunter Hearst Helmsley tagging with Shawn Michaels for the first time ever, and they will take on longtime bitter rivals Mankind and The Undertaker. So that's a pretty interesting wrinkle if you think about it. And I want to show this for one little clip. We're listening to more of this Austin interview later, but I just want to show this one little clip of it because I think it's hilarious. So,
Steve, I want to thank you for allowing us to come to your hotel room here. I know you've got a very busy and a very crucial 24-hour period here in Philadelphia, seeing a specialist tomorrow about your neck, but thanks for giving us a little of your time.
Well, you're welcome for the time, but if you're here to ask a bunch of questions, you might as well start asking them. Otherwise, I'll throw your ass out the window. And to cover the hotel room, this ain't a hotel room that I would stay at. You know, when I got hurt in SummerSlam and I got dumped on my head, no one called me and said, "Hey, Steve, you okay?" And no one ever sent a card, nothing like that. Not that I would expect it, but at least I would, you know, maybe a call just to see what the hell's going on with the hottest damn wrestler in the world. But I got nothing. So the WWF seems fit to put me in a room like this with all this fruit and trash like this. You want a pear? You want an apple? You want a banana or something? Yeah, make yourself at home, man. Well, but if you've got questions to ask, go ahead and ask them because I'm getting a little tired of you.
I'm throwing fruit at him.
if you got questions to ask, go ahead and ask them because I am getting a little bit tired of you. Oh, I love that. That's amazing. First match of the night is going to be LOD battling Owen, Hart, and the British Bulldog. Glenn, how'd you feel about this match?
I was so excited when I saw this match. I thought, oh, what a great way to start the show. Unfortunately, I've forgotten what time it was, what year it was, and what they were doing. It started off all right.
It did, yeah.
I was thinking, oh, this is good.
Yeah, so you must have watched a little bit of it before me because you were like, oh man, I should have known that we wouldn't get a proper Owen Bulldog and LOD match. And as it's going, I'm like, Glenn's, I don't know what's wrong with Glenn, but this match is good. And then it fell apart. After about 4 minutes, it fell apart.
Yeah.
Because they did everything you're supposed to do in the aspects of a tag team versus a heel match. And when you have kind of the smaller baby faces, I know it's ridiculous to think that Bulldog is a small guy, but he's smaller than LOD. And they were doing all the quick tags and cutting off the ring. And it was going so well. It's a good heel versus babyface tag team. And then the Hawk Farmer showed up.
Yeah. With a bucket.
Of course.
For us to puke into. It was so disappointing.
The bucket was
especially seeing as this is supposed to be building up to a match at Ground Zero that never ever happens.
Right.
It's just a waste of talent.
Yeah, they don't. The tag team division at this point is not that they don't have the talent for it to be good. It's just not presented well.
Just not considered. Yeah, not considered. It was just a little time filler at the beginning. Now.
Yep, exactly. One of my favorite spots in the match was Davies got Hawk in a headlock, right? And he's looking out at the fans. He's going, "You're next."
Yeah.
And then you.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yes, the best part of the match, the Godwins get in there, they hit Animal over the head with a bucket when the ref isn't looking. Owen pins him, and then after the match, the Godwins start beating on LOD. Owen and Bulldog get involved as well. Of course, the officials will come out and break them up. They show some highlights. We already saw the highlights of the Stone Cold Steve Austin video where get the hell out of here, I'll throw you out the window. That was such a great 40 seconds. And then we hear from Mankind about his big match, his big tag team match tonight. Basically, Mankind just says, Undertaker, I could be your best friend or your worst nightmare. I guess we'll find out tonight together, basically, is what he says. But then we do hear from Shawn Michaels, who is very upset. So let's hear from a very irate Shawn Michaels.
Mr. Michaels, why are you so upset? Why am I so upset? Because you and the rest of the World Wrestling Federation are still giving me the shaft. Everybody knows that what happened at SummerSlam is a job I had to do. And up to this point, everything I've done has been a mistake. And you people are painting me into a corner. When you paint me into a corner, all the mistakes stop. I got news for you. I'm getting so sick and tired of this. You are throwing me to the lions. I'm not supposed to be with The Undertaker until Ground Zero. You got me out there with him, Mankind, Hearst, Helmsey. He's not my tag team partner. I don't have tag team partners. You, Caesar, are throwing this young Catholic boy to the lions once again. You always do that, and you and the whole World Wrestling Federation is going to pay. You paint me into a corner, you're going to get what is coming to you. Believe me when I tell you.
Very upset.
Yeah, very upset. You season me throwing this young Catholic boy to the lions. Well, firstly,
Yeah.
I didn't think the Romans threw young Catholic boys to the lions.
Yeah, I'm not a big history buff, but I never saw that. It's just Sonny coming down to the ring which means we got to be seeing a light heavyweight match, Glenn. But I guess not, because Flash Funk's music starts playing.
That's appropriate, considering the cock up that was.
Yeah, because it's not Flash Funk, it's Brian Christopher coming out to Flash Funk's music. He's halfway down the ramp before they figured out they got it wrong and switched it to Brian Christopher's music. So that was fun. Somebody got fired for that, I'm sure. Vince was probably losing his mind on his headset. Could you imagine?
Yes. Yeah.
Bruce! God damn it, Bruce! God damn it! I think Cornette and Russo are booking at this time, because I just listened to an episode of the Fabulous UTT podcast where they discussed an episode of this around this era, and he was booking for Russo and Cornette. So we have two men booking who will hate each other forever.
It must have been Sonny distracted, the sound guy.
Probably what it was. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I could get it. I get it. Especially 97, Sonny. Definitely.
Yeah.
So then we get a little promo from Flash Funk. I mean, we get a promo from Brian Christopher because he lost last week. He has to prove himself to face a heavyweight this week, and he picked Flash Funk for some reason. And then we get a promo from Flash Funk as well, and he kind of steals HBK's gimmick here, because he says he's going to stick his foot down Brian Christopher's throat. Man, that's usually what Shawn Michaels says.
Yep. The thing that made me laugh, though, is this is the thing about the heavyweights and the cruiserweights, because there's not a lot of difference in size between these two.
No, not really.
He's not exactly picked Vader or somebody, has he?
Right. He didn't say, I want to fight Psycho Sid. He didn't say that.
No.
So Flash did some cool stuff in this match, but this was another short match, and Brian Christopher was up on the top rope with the King. Just got to distract him, and he wants him to get down and give him a pile driver, but that distracts Christopher long enough for Flash Funk to be able to knock him off the top rope. He then hits a 450 splash, and he beats Brian Christopher. So this all collapsed on itself, didn't it?
Yeah. And to be fair, this was probably the best match of the show.
Other than maybe the tag team match at the end, yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I don't know if this show's going to get 2 thumbs up from the end, Glenn.
Yeah.
So the King and Brian Christopher are very angry with each other. And then they show more clips from the Austin interview, and then we get a promo from The Undertaker about the match tonight.
They say patience is a virtue, but when it comes to Shawn Michaels, mine has run out. Shawn Michaels, you're not going to make it to ground zero, because tonight I settle the score. And Mankind, I never forgive and I never forget. You get out of line and I'll take you out just like Shawn Michaels.
I believe him, Glenn.
Yes, I know. I
believe him. I wouldn't even go out to the ring.
Oh, I love this Taker. He's most scary dude mode.
Yeah, I thought it was, and he's still in the gloom mode, but he can talk a little more. It's not like the old Undertaker where he never said anything at all.
No.
We then come back from the break, and the Sultan is in the ring, and then we see China and Hunter in the back having some words with the old Sergeant Slaughter. I think they're maybe upset about the tag team match, or maybe they're not.
Why is the Sultan still around?
Well, Glenn, he just had his first loss a couple of weeks ago against the Patriot. Remember, he was undefeated.
I know. But it's such an 80s gimmick. We're in 97 and they're still doing. I think it should have been dead and buried by now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. And he faced Ken Shamrock, and in another gimmick as another man, Ken Shamrock and this could probably have a goddamn good match. But when one man is playing in a fucking weird wooden mask with some
Yeah.
strange boots and a clown costume. It wasn't so great.
No.
The Iron Sheik got involved a lot. He broke the flag over the back of Shamrock while the referee wasn't looking. But I don't know, Glenn. I don't have a lot from this.
No, it was just a big mess.
Definitely. Yes. Obviously, Shamrock wins with the ankle lock.
Yeah.
The best part of the match was when Ken Shamrock belly to belly suplexed the Sheik. The Iron Sheik. It was great. That was
Yeah.
the best part.
The only good thing about it is it put Shamrock over well.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think Shamrock's a guy that they've done a really good job building. And I think we've talked about all this, and we'll probably talk about it more, how they probably could have done a lot more with Ken Shamrock than they did.
Oh, yeah, eventually. But at the moment, they're building him quite well.
Yeah, right now they're doing a good job with him, absolutely. Then they tell us that we're going to get the interview with Steve Austin. They're even setting it up. But then the Nation of Domination's music hits, and they come down to the ring with their newest member, of course, Rocky Maivia, and they want JR to get in the ring because they got some stuff to say. We hear some very loud Rocky sucks chants coming from the crowd.
This is so good from him.
Yeah,
Shuts them up.
he
Perfect.
really does. So Farouk gets on the mic first and he kind of tells everybody Ahmed Johnson was kicked out of the Nation of Domination because he wants to be pretty like Shawn Michaels and he wants to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He says anyone who's weak like Ahmed Johnson has no place in the Nation of Domination. He runs down Crush and Savio Vega as well, who will be facing in a three-way match at Ground Zero. And then we hear from Rocky Maivia. So let's hear from him.
I got 3 words. Die, Rocky, die. That's the gratitude I get from you pieces of crap for all my blood, my sweat, and my tears. You know, hey, this isn't about the color of my skin. This is about respect. I became the youngest Intercontinental Champion in WWF history. And what did it get me? In arenas across the country, I heard chants of Rocky sucks. Well, Rocky Maivia is a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them. I want to make one point to all you jackass fans out there. Rocky Maivia and the new Nation of Domination lives, breathes, and dies respect. And we will earn respect by any means necessary.
Do you think that Farouk was thinking, I'm not going to be the leader of this group for long?
Yeah, I think so. That's the point where he realized.
Like, well, it was a good run. Then, of course, you could hear the motorcycles revving up in the back there. And
Yeah.
I would say basically The Rock was born on that one, wasn't it?
Sorry?
The Rock was born in that promo. He did everything to refer to himself in the third person.
Yeah.
Very, very good stuff there.
Yeah, and then they go spoil it.
Yeah. GOA comes up. Crush calls them the Nation of Constipation.
Which is good. I must admit that was good.
That's not bad.
Mm.
And he then challenges them to come out to the parking lot and fuck the man-to-man. And before he even gets all the words out, the Nation's already making their way up the ramp. They're like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
we can do this then.
Do you think that poor old JR, they keep chucking him out there to do these standing interviews, and he never looks like that he wants to be there doing them?
No. I mean, I don't know if I would want to get in there and be yelled at by Farouk either.
I know, it's just that JR's happy behind a desk doing commentary. He's not a stick man as such.
Yeah, they're grooming young Michael Cole for that. We'll see Michael Cole later in the show.
Mhm.
They show us Goldust and his wife Marlena, or Terry, I guess they said that she was playing with her daughter on the beach. I don't know why, because they're in Atlantic City, I guess, and they're by the boardwalk, which is on the beach. Another place I don't want to go. We then get a promo from Hunter Hearst Helmsley about the tag team match tonight. Vince asks him if he's scared of the Undertaker. He says he isn't, but he says Shawn Michaels does the climb and I have to do the time again. which I think that's a reference to the curtain call, I think. But then in the middle of the promo, they're like, sorry, Triple H, we know you got something to say, but we got a throwdown in the parking lot.
Yes, of course. Which is ironic for this with Triple H, considering that it was Rick Rude that really got shafted from all this. He was brought in to be HBK's bodyguard, but Shawn wanted Hunter to do it because they were sick of thieves by this point anyway.
Right.
So basically, they brought Rick Rude in for a lot shorter time than he was meant to be there, just chucked him out again when they created DX.
Well, I mean, he sticks around until after the screw job, and then I think he leaves because of the screw job, I believe, is what happens.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Hmm.
We're only a couple months away from that, Glenn. Isn't that crazy?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty crazy. So then after the promo with Triple H, they're brawling in the back or whatever, and as they're brawling, we hear the motorcycle start up again, and then we see the Los Barriquas have committed grand theft auto because they've stolen the DOA's bikes, and they're stupid because all of this is on film. All this footage is on film. You're criminals.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice that something went a little awry in that brawl? The car window got smashed.
Oh no, I didn't see the car when it got smashed.
Yeah, there was a car window got smashed. And apparently, if I remember rightly from one of his podcasts back in the day, that was Jim Cornette's car.
Yes, I remember this. He said that like Jim goes out there and opens the trunk of his car and gets a baseball bat out and starts beating the shit out of his own car. He was so mad.
It was.
Oh God. You're right, Glenn. I forgot about that, but you're right. That's wow. That's an amazing story right there. And then, Glenn, we hear the sweet sounds of possibly the greatest song of all time, Glenn, because Jesse James is on his way out of the ring, and he's been spending his days working hard on the go because the hands of the clock keep spinning too slow. And I know Glenn can't wait to be alone with his baby tonight.
Baby tonight.
But yes, Jesse James makes his way out of the ring, and I forgot all about Jesse James at this point. I thought they had buried that gimmick by this point, but not quite yet. He's going to be taking on Brian Pillman, who of course is in a dress.
I might as well have.
Might as well what?
Buried him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he won this match, Glenn. This is probably his first.
No, he lost. Oh, yeah. He won this by DQ because Goldust came out and dropped him on his head.
Yeah. Goldust came out and dropped an elbow on him, making Brian Pillman lose, thus making Brian Pillman wear a dress for another week. Brian Pillman's had enough of this shit, though, and he just like they said, he's starting to lose it. And let's hear what happens between these two because I could never explain it.
No, that's it.
You think this is a big joke? You think it's funny for a world-class athlete like Brian Pillman to come out in front of all these sick freaks wearing a dress? You promised to give me one more match. And if you beat me, I'll leave the WWF forever.
Uh-oh. Forever? Don't do it. You're talking about forever, right?
Why not? Forever.
Long time. Well, show me the papers and let me sign. No, Pillman, don't do it.
But if I beat you, then I get little Marlena as my personal assistant for 30 days, 24 hours a day.
Well, you really must think that I'm out of my mind to put my beautiful, lovely wife on the line for you in a match. You are stupid. You are an idiot. let me let you in on a little secret. There's always a big part of me around you all the time because you know your little daughter, Dakota? She's mine. She's my love child. She's mine. It was so good.
Wait. We'll take that challenge.
It was good.
What is
right
this?
Here, baby.
The challenge. Did you hear me?
Marlena trying to
We'll
speak.
take it.
Marlena trying to speak to Goldust, stating that, and also to Brian
We're
Pillman, that
taking it.
they're going to take the challenge.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
This is one of those things where you know that, like, if you didn't know what you were watching isn't on the up and up, you'd know now. Because if that really happened, Goldust would have got a gun and shot Brian Pillman.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what would have happened. He would have just
Yeah.
shot him.
Yeah, he would have shot him, yeah.
But yeah, that's a real Attitude Era storyline, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, it's a shame that through circumstances they didn't get to pay it off in any way.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. That's not. It doesn't ever get to pay off, but we're gonna get to see some of it at least, which is, from what I remember, interesting to say the least. People always ask me, like, or I've heard people ask this question, not necessarily ask me, but I've seen the question posed, like, when did the Attitude Era start? And I'm gonna go right now. It just started today. That's not the right answer, but that's the answer I'm giving.
No, I would actually say a few weeks ago. Around this time, though.
It's starting to turn, yeah.
Because up until, say, April, May of 97, it was just still ticking along.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they started introducing things. Rocky Maivia became better, and Stone Cold built up momentum, and the whole thing, and The Undertaker and Mankind and Paul Bearer, all that started bearing fruit. So, yeah, this is at the right time to say it started.
Yeah, I would say mid 97. I would say it certainly wasn't early 97. If you go back to listen to some of the first few episodes of the show, we were like, this is terrible. So I guess that's what's going to happen. Ground Zero, Pillman versus Goldust. If Goldust wins, Pillman's leaving forever. And if he doesn't, then he's going to do stuff to Marlena, that's for sure. He said it, I didn't say it. I'm just saying what he said. Anyway, so then we hear from Vader, who is going to be taking on the Patriot next, Glenn. And Glenn, do you want to hear the Vader promo?
Oh, yeah, I want to hear that, but I'd love to hear the JR bit as well.
Oh, I don't know if I didn't get the JR bit. What JR say?
I'll tell you what he said afterwards.
Okay.
Play the promo.
Stick around for that.
The colors of the Patriot are red, white, and blue. But tonight, they're going to change to black and blue. Oh, yeah, because it's time. Have no fear for it's time. It's Vader time.
There's no way you could doubt that man. If he says he's going to beat somebody black and blue, he's going to do it.
That's like the Undertaker thing. Like, I believe him, yeah. I believe
anyway, going back to my concerns over poor old JR, he must have been looking in the old locker rooms in the showers, because he proudly notes that the Patriot is a big old gamecock.
He did say that, yeah. Glenn, let me ask you this. Do you know why he said that?
No.
Okay, so Dale Wilkes, the Patriot, which if we know his real name, I don't know why he needs the mask, as Shawn Michaels said a couple of weeks ago. He played football, I believe, at the University of South Carolina, who are known as the Gamecocks. So the South Carolina Gamecocks. And they have hats and shirts and memorabilia featuring the word Cox on the front, and I'm not even kidding.
I should have guessed that it would be a college reference from JR.
Yep. That's what it is. Yep. That's why he's a big old cock. He's. They should have called him that. They should have called him the cock. He's the real red rooster, the red, white, and blue rooster. If you know what I mean. And he's a gamecock, doodle doo, motherfucker. That's what they should have done. It would have been more over than this shit. Sorry, I'm sorry to the Patriot, but I'm sorry. It doesn't work.
No.
Anyway, the second hour starts with all the pyro and such, and the Vader Patriot match happens. The funny thing about this is when Vader's coming out with Paul Bearer got some pep in his step, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's laughing all the way.
Paul looks like a hooker just took care of him. That's how happy he looked when he was on.
Yeah, he did.
Looked like he had just been drained, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry. So the Patriot got a good reaction when he came out. Initially, the people got excited. But then once the match started going, that was it. Nobody cared.
That was it. It is the hype, Rob. It's the hype of him rather than the substance of him.
Yeah, it's only because he brings out the American flag and they play the music and people don't know to go, you suck. That would come later, you know?
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that was the actual music he did come out to. I don't think they've dubbed that in. Because it didn't fucking sound blaringly loud like a Rick Rude music. That's for sure.
No, this is probably the correct. Because they own the rights to that.
Right. Makes sense. And then, the Patriot, Bret Hart comes down on the ramp to watch the match a little bit, I guess. Vader attacks the Patriot while him and Bret are having the flag wave off. That's a popular thing now in the WWF. Everybody get a flag and wave it real hard.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that somewhere. Anyway, never mind. This match was sloppy, is how I felt about it. Very sloppy match.
Mm-hmm. Was nothing to it really. Waste of 5 minutes.
Yeah, another waste of 5 minutes. It didn't do anything for anyone, I didn't think. The Patriot ends up winning and Vince called it this week the Uncle Slam. So I did hear it somewhere. I didn't just make that up. I knew that somebody called it the Uncle Slam.
It was the Uncle Slam. This match did Vader more favors than it did the Patriot, though.
That's true.
Because this was the start with the Hart Foundation attacking Vader. This was the start of Vader's face turn.
Which I don't think is going to be very successful for him, but
no.
At least they're trying to do something with him other than nothing. Yeah, because he starts beating up the Patriot after the match, and then he's going to hit a Vader bomb on him, but then Bret gets in the ring and tries to lay the Canadian flag over the Patriot, and Vader doesn't stand for that. Vader gets down, and I think he broke the flag in half, didn't he?
He did.
And then Vader and Bret start fighting, which of course brings Owen and Bulldog down to the ring. They all start brawling. Eventually, the Patriot gets to his feet. And did you see when the Patriot was trying to get after Bret Hart? Did you see how he got himself tangled up in the ropes?
Yes, I did.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was Dave or Earl, but one of the Hebners is laughing his ass off as he's trying to get him out of the rope.
That's right.
And Bret too. Bret's laughing. As Bret's going to walk away, he's laughing.
Yeah.
Because this motherfucker's got his leg tangled up in the bottom rope and he can't get it out.
Don't get at him.
It was something, that's for sure. I still think this would have went over better if he was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yes.
So he got Hacksaw back. We then see highlights of what happened between Owen Hart and Steve Austin at SummerSlam, and I don't like to look at the slow motion replays of that over and over again. No, thank you. I don't want to watch that.
Why do you need to? Yeah, we know that he broke his neck.
Yeah, we don't need to confirm.
Don't need to see his slow motion.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I didn't really like how many times they were showing it. And the way Vince is in his ominous voice. Vince described this as something that men will tell their children about.
Yeah.
The time that Stone Cold Steve Austin got down. I mean, Glenn, when my kids were 4 years old, each of them, I sat them down. I said, "Look, guys, one time, 1997 SummerSlam, Stone Cold Steve Austin got dropped on his head by Owen Hart. Think about that." And they were so confused. They didn't understand. Anyway, so we then get to the Stone Cold Steve Austin interview, and I got about like a 3-minute clip of this, and I tried to cut it down to the shorter amount, but
yeah,
it's just too. There's so much of it that's so good I couldn't. So
no,
that's
that's
the best I could do.
I'd like for you to address 3 things, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One is SummerSlam, your paralysis after being driven in the mat from the tombstone by Owen Hart. The second thing is what the doctors have told you. And thirdly and lastly, what you perceive your future to be here in the WWF.
Close to the end of the match, when Owen Hart dumped me on my head, you figure I weigh 245, 250. Bam, you get planted in the mat. It happens. And for basically about 50 seconds, I couldn't move my arms and my legs. And I didn't know if I ever would move again. It's pretty damn scary. So, I'm through with that. Looking past that, I've watched that on tape probably 30 or 40 times, and it still sucks each time I see it. But I'm over it, and I'm moving around, and I'm happy about that. But Owen Hart has got hell to pay. And I'm just a little bit off. Well, I'm not a little bit off. I'm a whole lot off. But you know what they say. It's better to be off than on. So I'm supposed to see the top guy, the top spine guy in the country tomorrow here in Philadelphia and see what he has to say. And it doesn't matter really what he says. The end result, the decision's mine. He can sit there and say, don't do this, try not to do this, whatever. But the bottom line is I'm the one that makes the decision. So I'll sit there, rethink things, and go from there. But regardless of what he says, Owen Hart's got hell to pay. Well, if it's my last step in life, you can damn well bet he's going to get the kicked out of him one way or the other. And that's it. I don't know when, where, how, or what, but it's going to happen. As far as my future, don't sit there and try to butt in because I'm talking, right? Okay, as far as my future goes, hell, like I said, I'll listen to what the doctor says, but I'm going to do what I want. The future for Steve Austin, as far as I'm concerned, is to put on his black trunks and black boots and show up. I'm going to take a few days off. I'll probably take a few weeks off because, when you're sitting there at the house, you watch a film of getting paralyzed for there 50 seconds. You watch that 30, 40 times, you get a little depressed. So I drank a few cases of beer. I'll tell you exactly what I did. I just ride around on my 4-wheeler, drink a few beers, and sit there and think about it. All the damn bureaucratic red tape, all the bull I've been through, it's taken me 8 years to get to where I'm at right now. If you think for one split second that a pile driver is going to stop me, it ain't going to happen. Did it slow me down? Damn right, but it ain't going to stop me. Ground zero, sub-zero, whatever hell you want to call it, in Louisville, I'll be there. Whether it's to hand the belt over, if I decide maybe it's time to hang it up, I'll do that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think when Ground Zero rolls around, you'll see Stone Cold. Don't wipe your nose. It pisses me off. You'll see Stone Cold Steve Austin, and don't smile. You'll see Stone Cold Steve Austin in a black pair of trunks and a black pair of boots, and I'll be out there whipping somebody's ass. I don't know what kind of match it is. It's some kind of little 4 tag teams or some kind of like that. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, well, I'll be there. And what gets me is that Steve Austin is at a new level now because, if I was pissed off before, I'm a lot more pissed off now, and that makes me even more dangerous, not a liability, and that's the bottom line.
Don't wipe your nose either. It pisses me off.
You know what they say, better be pissed off than pissed on.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in this era is just so good. So funny.
It was.
That's good shit. So we get to the main event. It is Hunter, Hearst, Helmsey, and Shawn Michaels taking on The Undertaker and Mankind. No one seems to be happy that they're teaming with the other person in this one. Shawn Michaels makes his way down to the ring, and he starts like grinding up on China, which she didn't seem to be too impressed by that.
No.
But she also didn't kill him, which was what I would be concerned with if I was him.
Well, she looked like she was going to.
Yeah. I mean, she never doesn't look like she's about to kill somebody, at least when she's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She always looks like she's about to rip somebody's head off and eat it. It's funny. The Undertaker comes down. He comes down to the ring. He's getting in the ring. He does his, where he puts the lights up and the big boom goes off. And Shawn Michaels is talking to the camera guy. He's like, "Give me the camera. Here, you wrestle, and I'll work the camera."
Yeah.
The cameraman didn't take that trade. He didn't talk the cameraman back into that trade, though. So,
not surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't took that deal either. What do you think of this tag team match?
For what it was good. It did all it needed to do. Start to see a bit of bonding between Shawn and Triple H.
Yeah, of the two tag teams in this match, they were definitely the more cohesive unit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It appeared as if they weren't quite that upset to be tagging with each other.
No, but the other thing is it protected the Undertaker very well as well with the finish as well.
Oh, so they're on the outside of the ring, and he's got Shawn Michaels up in a chokehold like this, like with both hands.
Yeah, that's it.
But then Roode picks up a chair, and the Undertaker's got like eyes in the back of his head or something, because as soon as Rick picks up that chair to swing it, the Undertaker drops Michaels, turns around, he starts backing Roode off.
Shawn took a real rough hammering onto the railing. Taker sort of threw him about 8 foot in the air.
It was one of those Psycho Sid things, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It did very much look like something we would see on Life of Time of Psycho Sid. But yeah, so that happens, and then the chair hits him with another chair shot. After that, of course, they get disqualified with the chair shots.
Yeah.
They hit him once. He gets up. He hits him one more time, and then the Undertaker sits up again. And this time they just fucking say, "Well, we're out of here." And they run. That's exactly what I would have done.
Yep.
If I blast you in the head twice and you get up, I'm running. I've done all I can do here.
And again, this is one of those things where the slow motion doesn't do the action any favors because it looked at normal time, and the way they showed the close up of the chair with the blood on it and everything, that it had been busted open the hard way until you saw it on the slow motion, and you could clearly see the Undertaker blading.
Oh, I guess I'm not that smart, Glenn, because I didn't see it. I'm not that smart. Yeah.
Even so, enjoyable match, perfect ending with the heels running away.
Yeah, I mean it was the good way to end the show. While this wasn't my favorite Raw ever, it did have some good elements. But I can't, in good conscience, give it two thumbs up because it really didn't have hardly any good matches. So
no,
I'm gonna go with just one.
Just the one from me as well.
That's it. You want to hear some of the matches that we missed because we didn't watch Nitro?
Go for it.
Harlem Heat battled Vicious and Delicious. Do you remember who Vicious and Delicious were, Glenn?
Sound familiar. I can't remember who they were.
They were in the NWO. Does that help you? No, because there's 50 guys in the NWO.
No.
So Buff Bagwell and Scott Norton were Vicious and Delicious.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
The Barbarian defeated Mortis. So the Barbarian versus Mortis was Canyon, right?
Yeah.
And the Don't Call Me Steven or Scott Steven Richards defeated Scotty Riggs. Chris Benoit teamed with Steve McMichael to defeat Eddie Guerrero and spending his days working hard on the go, but now he's working in the WCW, Jeff Jarrett. And the main event from this evening was Diamond Dallas Page and Lex Luger defeating the Outsiders by disqualification in a tag team championship match.
Jesus.
Glenn, this show had the fucking craziest dark match that you could ever think of. Like, this is nuts that this was a dark match on a show. Eugene Nagata, Japanese legend Eugene Nagata facing Dave Taylor in the dark match of the show. I would have loved to be in the arena for that. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Wow. Why couldn't we take, Steven Richards versus Scotty Riggs off the card and stick that one on there?
That's right.
But yeah. So the funny thing about this, Glenn, now is there is no Raw for 2 weeks.
No.
And do you know what happens at the end of these 2 weeks where we have no
Raw? No, I haven't looked that far ahead yet.
WWF Ground Zero. So we will not have a Raw review next week. We will be reviewing
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
Because all the matches that were promised that didn't happen.
Yeah. They actually had two what they called Friday night's main events that were on the USA Network. but they are not on the network and they are not on Peacock, and I couldn't find but bits and pieces of them on YouTube.
Yeah,
I wanted to review them, but we can't.
There's lots of single matches on YouTube, but not whole shows.
Yeah, not the full show. Yeah, so we can't review that. So we're gonna have to go straight into the pay-per-view. It's gonna be a cold build, and I guess I should look it up and see who's even on the. Should we look up Glenn and find out who's actually on the show? Because I think they've only announced 2 matches, right?
Might as well as.
So we have the Brian Pillman Goldust match is happening. We've also got Scott Putski battling Brian Christopher once again. Savio Vega in a triple threat match against Farouk and Crush. Glenn, we got a minis match. Max Mini is going to take on El Torino.
Oh, we're going to save that for Friday night.
Yay! Yes, we're watching that with the mayor on Friday night. We've got it's a four-way elimination tag team match for the vacant tag team championship. Spoiler alert: Mankind and Dude Love and Austin are gonna have to give up the belts because Austin can't wrestle for a while. So it's the Headbangers versus the Godwins versus LOD versus Owen Hart and the Bulldog, and then we've got Bret Hart battling the Patriot for the WWF Championship, and then the main event of the evening of this show is Shawn Michaels battling the Undertaker, and I believe that this is Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker's very first one-on-one match ever.
Yes.
So, while we are most excited about the Max Mini El Torito match, that does look like a pretty good card minus a couple of matches.
Oh, that certainly is.
So be on the lookout for that. Next week, that will be our review for the week. Glenn, who do we need to plug before we get out of here?
I'm booking the territory. Danny and Rob looking at the first and last of wrestling. This little side project that they've got going on at the moment. Unstacking the territory. Looking at the build up to 1981 match at Wembley between Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks, which at 18 million viewers was the most watched wrestling match of all time, apparently. DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc, and of course,
the Doctor Who podcast with Danny and Cy. Make sure you check that out. It's on SJP World Media. Give a listen if you're a Doctor Who fan out there.
Yes, definitely.
And of course, give the other member of our podcast team, the mayor of Canton, the follow on whatever the fuck they call that app now. He does a meal with the mayor every Wednesday. Did he do one last week, Glenn?
He did.
What did he eat? I did not see it. I'm asking a lot of Glenn for him to remember this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Follow the mayor at Mayor of Canton, and you can find out. It's going to be.
No, he didn't do one. He put up the one that he deleted where he swore a lot.
Oh, well, get on there right now and follow at Mayor of Canton and watch him rant about how I don't remember even where he went, but it was the most amazing rant I've ever seen in my life. And I love a good rant. I can rant with the best of them, and that was an A+ rant.
Yeah, that was his Festivus rant.
That was a good one. That's a classic meal with the mayor. But anyway, yeah, definitely give the mayor a follow and check that out. And of course, make sure you check out Sportswire Radio and give our buddy Thomas Bryce a follow on the social media platforms. Just search Thomas Brice and you will find him. He is going to be coming on the show, I believe, on the 19th of January for a special announcement. So be on the lookout for that and give Thomas a follow. Make sure you check out everything that Sportswire Radio does and check out the website. sportswireradio.org. That's Sportswire with a Z. I know I say it with an S because I can't say it with a Z. Make sure you check out our other projects. I believe we have a AWI Pod Worldwide out right now with a special stay in school notice from Brian Knobs at the very beginning, and then we watched some WCW 2000. I will say that it might not be one of our best shows ever, but was one of the most fun shows I've ever done. So.
It was really entertaining. It was a good show to go out of the year with. There was a match on the show. I think it was Norman Smiley versus the Dog, and it won AWI Pod 2023 Match of the Year. So if that's not enough to listen to it, I don't know what is. And of course, check out I Don't Know Shit, The Life and Times of Psycho Sid. We didn't have an episode out last week, but we will be back this week. So make sure you give that a listen. And that's it. That is all. Now all we have to do is have Glenn say goodbye. Goodbye.